Center for Asia Pacific Aviation on Thursday said allowing domestic airlines to take advance bookings from April 15th is unfair to consumers since a decision on lifting the nationwide lockdown is yet to be taken. While the government is yet to decide on lifting the lockdown, Indian Airlines have started taking bookings for travel on domestic flights from April 15th. Well, though, Air India has suspended sale of tickets for domestic and international flights till April 30. Well, this is all coming in because most airlines, including domestic, have refused to refund customers whose flights either got cancelled due to the suspension of all commercial passenger flights in the wake of day lockdown or due to travel restriction overseas.
Hi, I think the report which we released today had two facets. That the advanced bookings which were done prior to the lockdown announcements, which happened on third week of March, the airlines were confronted with a certain reality that the lockdown is going to be long term, and the processing refunds and rescheduling those refunds or the tickets would have been a very, very big exercise. And towards that, the decision by the airlines to provide a credit shell which can be used for a year was, I think, logical. I don't think there was anything else they could have done. But after the lockdown was announced, and we don't have a decision when the lockdown is going to be lifted, we have a strange situation that the government is considering an extension of a lockdown, and the Ministry of Civil Aviation has allowed the reopening of bookings to take place, which would mean that passengers who are stranded need to get back to their home or to their workplaces, would basically be booking these tickets, and they have no idea when the flights will be operational and when they can get the refunds. So our input is that till the lockdown is not lifted and till we don't have clarity on the transition period from lockdown to normalization, and we don't know in the interim period what is the network that airlines would fly, we shouldn't allow rebooking to happen. So we have urged the government to allow the rebooking to happen only once we know the lockdown is over, and only after we know that what's the interim schedule that the airline is going to be flying, which has to be approved by the DGCA. So you should allow bookings only on those sectors. The point we try to make is that after Kingfisher and Jet's departure, thousands of crores of passenger funds are locked, which will never be retrieved. We already have, before the COVID, significant amount of passenger funds locked with airlines now, and allowing bookings to be open after 14th of April without any direction on the lifting of lockdown and the transition would have been unfair to consumers. So we urge the government to make sure that this decision is reviewed and the rebookings be allowed only once we know what will be the airline schedules during the transition period.